Okay. You know who it is. The one, the only. It's your boy T Dub was blazing the sports. Yes, of course, you already know. I'm back at it like a crack at it. Giving you boxing geekers this work on this fine, beautiful spring day in the Midwest. You can find me in St. Louis. By the way, where you guys from? But listen, guys, I am actually in office today, which is why I'm doing a video like this. But I got to talk about it. I also wanted to put out another short video. Didn't get a chance to, but I got guys. We're going to talk about this. The spider is back, taking on Chavez Jr. Oh man, hey, I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. I'm walking to the car now, so we can get our smoke on. All right, here we go. Chavez Jr. I don't know how he does it, but he found his way back in another big fight. Another. I don't know any big, respectable boxing night that would take him after his last few outings, but he managed to do what seems to be the trend. Oh, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm sorry. You probably couldn't even hear me. All right, guys, welcome. Sorry for the delay. This is your boy T that was blazing the sports. Yes, of course, I am extremely back at it, like a crack at it, giving you boxing geekers every bit of this work. Hopefully, you can hear me. I have some earbuds in, but let's get right into it, man. Chavez Jr. is back, taking on none other than the Spider, doing what a lot of these seem like boxers are trying to do lately. Even the Golden Boy. I gotta do a video on that. Oscar De La Hoya wants to come back. Said at first he wanted to take on a tough competition, and now we are hearing he wants to fight somebody in the UFC. But we know who it's not. It's not Anderson Silva, because Anderson Silva is back now fighting Chavez Jr. Pacquiao is trying to fight Conor McGregor. I don't get it. What is going on, guys? I don't know. But Junior's back. We're going to talk about it. But it's so much boxing going on right now, guys. Haney is fighting Linares, I believe, May 19th. We are still waiting to find out what's going on with Earl Spence Jr. And is he fighting Ugas or is he not? Bob Arum promised us huge, mega news coming this week for Terrence Crawford. Who could it be? In order to be big news, it has to be big news, and big news means a big name in boxing. Not a mandatory or something crazy. Gotta be boxing. We will find out. Pacquiao, Mikey, Ugas. Who do you guys want to see? Who could it be? Could it be one of those names? Is Pacquiao fighting Mikey Garcia? Or did some kind of way Terrence Crawford or Bob Arum disrupt that and stole one of those names? Did he get Ugas? Is he finally getting at least a fight that Sean Porter wants, which is Sean Porter taking on Terrence Crawford? In the building, D1, the only American Power Tribe. What's up, champ? We're live, man. We're live. So much boxing going on. And I like it. Also, the saga that continues. The Wilder, Joshua, the Fury. It is a saga, man. And us as boxing fans, we don't know how it's going to play out. Deontay Wilder is still in mediation, arbitration, whatever part they're in with Tyson Fury's camp. But I don't believe, no matter what happens, I don't believe they can physically make Fury get in the ring. I don't believe so. And the crazy thing about it is, we could get Joshua versus Fury. It could be for undisputed, or it can be for every title but one. I don't know. Even Bob Arum admits his minimum that he sees is that Deontay Wilder is going to get some money, a huge payout, 30, 40, 50, 60 million. We don't know. But at the bare minimum, he's going to get money. So if that's the bare minimum, what could he get besides that? A lot of people say the contract has expired. Obviously, the contract did not expire because they are tied up. Eddie Hearn has promised us that we should get an arena, that the mega fight between Fury and Josh are going to take place this week. And if that comes out this week and they give us a date this week for that fight, that'll be all but let me know that I don't think Wilder would get his fight against Fury ever. If Fury some kind of way gets out of this fight, it is gone forever. Smash the like button. Yes, yes. It is said that Fury won't honor his contract. Yeah, it doesn't look like he's going to do it. I do believe at one point he was. Because both fighters agreed on dates. As far as I know, the fighters didn't pull out a date. Wilder never pulled out of a date. Fury never pulled out of a date. But it was the networks, combined networks, including Tyson Fury Network, ESPN, said we can't do it. And once that happened, somebody talked to Fury like, listen, bro, you can get out this damn fight. Listen, this might be the opportunity we're looking for. Because if we accept this and go on with this date, then we have to fight this big hitter, right? You already fought the Dawson twice, and you escaped with your life twice. Listen, Fury, I get it. You're a warrior. You're a fighter. You fought him. But listen, this is what we can do. The contract is up. We can go fight Joshua now. And we believe Joshua is easier than fighting Wilder, even though Joshua appears to be more polished as a boxer than Wilder. Let's go do this now. And I think whoever talked to him had that conversation with Fury. Fury like, you know what? You're right. You are absolutely right. I can fight Wilder, make about 60 million, or fight Joshua, make about 100 million, and I can get off the contract. So that's going to be one guy that I'm going to monitor. For you guys, monitor this situation, see how it plays out. And no matter which direction they go, I'm going to come live and give you guys that smoke for sure. But now, guys, let's turn to the lesson at hand, the video at hand. Chavez Jr., the son of the legend, the son of one of the finest to ever do it in the sport of boxing. He's back. He's back. And if he was facing a boxer, no one wouldn't care. No one wouldn't tune in. No one would think about it. And I think he knew it. So what does he do? Some kind of way, he goes out and he gets the greatest, one of the great ones in MMA, Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva is taking on Chavez Jr. And they are really trying to do Chavez Jr. favors because they are doing this fight in Mexico, where he's from. The only kicker I see is that they're trying to put this, not trying, the fight's on pay-per-view. And I got to be honest, I don't know if I want to pay for a Chavez Jr. pay-per-view. Showtime, okay. DAZN, okay. You know what? If they do like a $20 pay-per-view, just for shits and giggles, if they do a $20, $19.99 pay-per-view, then I'll buy it just to report it to you guys. Hard to believe that he is back because he quit. Man, Breena Smith came into my last video chat and he said $10. I bet he quit. Man, and the thing is, this could set up more fights for Silva. Silva said, "Listen, man. After MMA, I say that I don't want to quit my career. Even if I'm done with MMA, I want to continue." He said he has continued. Matter of fact, I got the paper still here. I got the paper still here because I did a video. If you didn't see the video earlier, more condensed. Uh, check out my channel. All right. It says, "This is from Anderson Silva. When I look back at my journey, I see that nothing has been in vain. I am extremely happy for the opportunity to test my boxing skills with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I train continuously, always striving for relentless and overcoming obstacles. Fighting is my everlasting rap." And here's the thing, guys. I do got to ask you this. When you look at damn near like looking at a complete fighter, as if you are in the streets, he can kick, he can grapple, he can punch. Anderson Silva is like that man. Like literally, he could be that dude. He can kick you, he can do Muay Thai, he can defend on the back, he can submit you off the back, he can strike, counter, accuracy. But man, I have to ask you this. How will that transition to boxing? How will that transition to boxing? I don't know. I mean, I guess the perfect person to try it against would be Chavez Jr., right? Like American Panther Travis says, he quits. Uh, I guess, but the old Chavez Jr. used to be, at least I had hope in him, right? Because of his father, and I saw the son coming along, and his son came along, and he was doing pretty well, right? He had a very aggressive style, high defense, come in very smothering, putting a lot of pressure on the fighters. And again, how would it work against Anderson Silva? As much as I love Anderson Silva in MMA, you cannot grab in boxing. You cannot submit in boxing. You're going to be told to let go in boxing. Does he have what it takes in boxing? See, these are the questions we got to ask. These are the questions we got to talk about. Because even in the MMA world, he started to lose his natural ability to evade, to counter, elusiveness, timing. These things were slowly fading to where he was more defeatable in the back end of his career. So you're taking a Anderson Silva who is more defeatable in the back end of his career, and you're putting him in a boxing ring to where he can't grab, he can't hold. I don't know, man. MMA be trying to kill you. They do. They do. Listen, man. I don't know the thing. Let me get off the car for a minute and walk. I still gotta give me some lunch, but I definitely want to talk to smoke with you guys for a little bit. Come live. You know how I do, man. I got another video coming. I'm not sure if I can get it out while I'm at work, but I do have the Oscar De La Hoya return to boxing video. I had the thoughts about doing it yesterday, just didn't get it out. I'm going to get it done, right? I'm going to get it done. I'm going to post it. When I post it, please do me a favor, smash that like button. But here's the thing, man. Is this fight worth pay-per-view? When I first did a video on this fight, I didn't know it was pay-per-view. But now it's pay-per-view. Is it worthy? I guess, honestly, it's always come down to the price. If they put a $75 price ticket on this, I don't think it's worth it. They might try to do a $49 price ticket and not hope to sell Chavez Jr. Because I'm being honest, I think even a lot of Mexican supporters have lost a lot of faith in Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr., who was fighting somebody that most people didn't know on an undercard of his father in like an exhibition bout where they had on headgears. He lost that, or he quit. He's probably the type now that will be doing a tug of war contest, and it is dead even, and all of a sudden, you know what? I quit. I quit. I quit. He's pulling with both hands. I quit. I don't know, man. Chavez Jr. He's not like his father. He has fallen very far from the tree. Very far. He is so far from the tree that he is somewhere where they want him to believe, once they found him, that the tree even grows in that area. But some kind of way, he has found himself in another big fight, and I get it. Anderson Silva is looking for a soft touch in boxing. And how much softer can you get than somebody quits? I'm gonna tell you, the last time I had faith in Chavez Jr. and this is the last time I really had faith. I had lost faith before that, but it's the last time I thought he would give an effort. I thought he would give an effort. But Chavez Jr. some kind of way got the Canelo Alvarez fight. I had lost faith in him before that. But he got me, guys. Listen, he got teed up. He got teed up. He was training. He lost weight. He was killing it. His father was there. I was like, okay, let's go, right? Let's go. And then he comes out and he put up a dud. He is trying not to even make contact with Canelo. I'm like, what the F is this? This was pay-per-view. I paid for this. What is this? I don't know who put up less effort. Matter of fact, we should do a poll. Who put up less effort? Chavez Jr. or Canelo Alvarez last opponent? What's his name? Yildirim. Who put up less effort? Because both of them guys put up, a matter of fact, I'm still going, I don't know. Both of those effort was pretty sucky. He said, you can get softer with left hook Lacey. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know if left hook Lacey is softer than Chavez. Chavez Jr. just went completely down the drain. Lacey got exposed when he fought what's his name? The English guy. Kanzagi, right? That's when he got exposed. But Kanzagi is one hell of a fucking fighter. He just should have came over here a long time ago and fought the younger Roy Jones and Hopkins and Tony and all them guys back then. That's what he should have came over a long time ago. He just didn't come over and fight known fighters until them known fighters was age fighters. He said, you can get softer with left hook Lacey. Man, left hook Lacey got beat by old Roy Jones Jr. But this fight between Chavez Jr. and what's his name? Chavez Jr. and Anderson Silva. This fight is setting up. Mark my words. Mark my words. This fight is setting up a boxing match between Silva and Roy Jones Jr. If Silva wins, especially if he can make Junior does what Junior does best and quit. If he can listen, this is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna happen. Round one, Junior gonna come out like he's trying to win. He possibly gonna take the first 2 rounds, possibly. And if Anderson Silva don't fold, fights back, lands some good shots, Chavez Jr. either gonna quit or he's gonna get stopped. In the building, the one, the only Marcus Robert Johnson. What's up, champ? He said Silva is great because he always takes a challenge. Do you think he took too good of a boxer for this boxing debut? No. Listen, man. This was kind of like the 3 Little Bears, right? When Goldilocks came in, see, one bed was too hard, one bed was too soft. This one right here is just right. And the reason it's just right is because Chavez Jr., believe it or not, he is still a recognizable name in boxing. It is not really getting recognized for his greats anymore. He's getting recognized because he quit. If Chavez Jr. wasn't the son of boxing legend Chavez Sr., man, he wouldn't sell out a shoebox. They wouldn't talk about him. They wouldn't even mention Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. is not cut from the same cloth as Chavez Sr. If Chavez Sr. would be the luxury brand, right? Louis Vuitton, you know, Tom Ford, Gucci, right? Let's say Tom Ford, right? He's a luxury version. Chavez Jr. would be the great value. Chavez Jr. would be Kroger brand. He would be all these brand of a knockoff brand. He's not the good. Salute to my boy in the chat, man. You know what I don't get, guys? I don't get, like, when I'm at home and I do a live, I can get between 10, 14 people in the live. When I'm at work and I'm doing this app, for some reason, it don't get the same people. But let's keep cooking. He says he will give up. This is how I see this fight going. And it's like I said in my last video. If you haven't seen it after I get done, go back and watch. It's only about 6 minutes, but I think you'll love it. I think you'll like it. Anderson Silva, believe it or not, I think most boxing fans is going to root for him to beat Chavez Jr. When Conor McGregor came to boxing fans wanted Floyd Mayweather to win. If an MMA fighter typically comes to boxing, because they want a boxer to win to prove that an MMA fighter is not better than a boxer in boxing. So most boxers will go at least pull for the guy that's a traditional boxer. This is probably one of the rare times that 99% of UFC fans and 98% of boxing fans is going to want Silva to win, including me. I am not going to pick, at least not pick. I don't want Chavez Jr. to be Silva. I would prefer, and I would be happy if Silva beat Jr. Guys, at this point, Jr. needs to retire. He needs to retire. He is building a legacy for his boxing career, but it's going the opposite way. Plane coming. He is going the opposite way in his career. Listen, man. I mean, if you are Chavez Sr. and you look into Junior eyes, what do you think he's thinking, man? What do you think? Remember, Junior is supposed to be his son. He's shorter than Senior, doesn't look like Senior. I don't know if Senior ever had a blood test. Listen, if I were Chavez Sr., I wouldn't tell no one, but I would have a paternity test. And if it came back he's mine, I'd be like, oh, F, man, damn it, I guess I'm stuck with it. But if it comes back he is not mine, I will make it public to all that will hear that he's not my son. So that way people will be like, oh, that's why he didn't fight like Senior. That's why he didn't have the heart like Senior. That's why he quit, because he's not really the son. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking. If that came out, Chavez Jr. might quit on life. And even as much as he quit boxing, I wouldn't want no one to do anything crazy. Marcus Robert Johnson. I'm definitely picking Silva to win. Silva can beat this Cholo. Do you think Chavez think this is an easy fight and is going to slack off in training? I think this is what's going to happen. And I'm going to say it again. As great as Anderson Silva was in the MMA, and I think he's one of the greats, he's one of my all-time favorites. Honestly, as a person that I just would prefer to watch and stick out in my mind. He might be my favorite. Like he literally might be my favorite. There might be some that come along that even beat him or actually be better than him. But right now, he is my personal favorite, Anderson Silva. But if you look at the back end of his career, he lost a lot of his natural reflexes, his ability to move and throw unorthodox shots. That's why he lost in the back end of his career. Age has caught up with him. It's caught up with Silva. And even if age didn't catch up with Silva, when you are going from MMA fighting to strictly boxing, that's a hard change, man. That is a very hard change because in the MMA, you have a lot of more feint. You can feint your knees, elbows, high, low kick, high kicks, clinches. It's so much to worry about, in an MMA that even if your boxing is not superb, it will look superb in MMA because you have more things. But if you're coming over to boxing, I don't know if his hands was superb in boxing. I don't know. And this is probably the first time in his life that he is going to dedicate 100% just to boxing at an older age. This is a much tougher fight. It should be. It should be a much tougher fight for Silva. And in this fight, we're going to see clips of Chavez Jr. training like crazy. And back to your question, Marcus, uh, Chavez Jr. always trained like he's a madman. I lost faith in him. Chavez Jr. trained like a madman versus Canelo. I mean, he trained like a madman, but he put up a dud. In the building, once again, Marcus Robert Johnson throwing 3 logs on the fire to keep the blaze burning. Woo! It's hot in here. You hit the nail on the head. My thoughts exactly. Brendan Jackson, what's up, champ? This is in boxing, bro. It's boxing. So, check this out. Let me keep cooking. Let me keep cooking. Yeah, I got the pot. I got the pot. I got the spoon. Let me keep cooking. All right. So, Anderson Silva, in his prime, had a lot of skills. But even in his prime, transitioning to a sport to where you have to have superb boxing ability, defense. Because remember, in MMA, if Anderson Silva get close to someone, what does he do? He can grab you. He can clinch you. Muay Thai clinch, submit you. He is so effing dangerous. In MMA, honestly, like I said, he's a complete fighter in my book. But he's going into boxing in later stage of combat life. Not living, but combat life. Listen, I'm T-Duck, right? I am not a super old dude. But I tell you right now, I am not the same. And I'm not comparing myself to him because everybody is different. I'm only saying that time catches up to all. But this is the perfect fight for Silva. Here is why I say that. If Silva would have came into boxing and fight a no-namer, it doesn't do well. He has to fight a name. It doesn't do well. But if he finds the right name for the right situation, he can make some money off of this and possibly set himself up for a bigger fight. Allow me to continue. See, this is not the end of the movie where it's to be continue and you got to wait for the end game to come out. No, you about to get that smoke right now. Inhale this shit. You'll be in Cloud 9 in a matter of no time. Let's get it. Please smash the like button, guys. I don't know what's up with YouTube, man. Every time I go live on this app, they don't show me the same love. But you know what? It's cool, dude. Chavez Jr. is damn near perfect. He has a name that many recognize. He is of Mexican descent. So he would get some support there. Plus, Anderson Silva is fighting a guy with a name, but it's not good. See, the thing is, right? This is one of them cases where they said all publicity is good publicity. Because even though Chavez Jr., if Chavez Jr. was fighting a boxer, no one want to see it. No one. Listen, if Chavez Jr. was fighting a boxer, even let's say he was fighting somebody who had a name. Triple G, Remaster Canelo, Demetrius Andre, Jamal Charlo, nobody would care. Everybody would pick him to lose by landslide. Chavez Sr. would pick Chavez Jr. to lose by landslide. But because Jr. is fighting a former MMA fighter and not a former MMA fighter all right, guys, listen, man. I guess this app is causing my phone to overheat, which sucks. So if it's cut off, I apologize because it's saying it's overheating. Chavez is probably going to TKO him. Smash the like button. Don't they hate him in Mexico? All right, guys, it's going to close on me. I will continue this once I get off and get home. I apologize in advance. Come back, subscribe to the channel.